Good morning everybody, we're back out on Dartmoor again. We'll head north in the spring, most probably. Quite comfortable down here. I've ordered some different GoPro. I've ordered some different GoPro batteries. They're called Endurance or something, and I somehow think they're needed because basically it was quite cool last night, but far from freezing, maybe 5 or 6 or 7 degrees. And I filmed erecting my erection here. And it took maybe, I don't know, half an hour, something like that. I'll obviously have to edit the video down, a lot more. By the time I put the outer in and the inner in. And before I knew it, I'd gone from about 90% battery to 30% battery in literally just half an hour. So I just woke up just now. Well, it's 20 to 11, so I woke up about 10, and I thought I'll just do a good morning video that I'm doing now. I still have 30% left in this battery. And basically it started recording, and 2 seconds later, low battery and shut down on the GoPro 10. So I don't quite know what it is with the GoPro 10 and batteries at the moment, but I hope that they do a bit of a fix on the regular batteries. They don't just sort of stop at 30%, not 13%, 30%. Anyway, maybe the Endurance batteries will help that, but I've not had that problem before. We have a friendly face. Of course, I put a bed down for her. She has shifted it, and where does she sleep? Over on the grass over there. So half the time I just think, why do I bother bringing a bed for her? Because half the time she doesn't even sleep on it. Sometimes she'll sleep next to it. I thought, what the? We now have a working jet boil. So I returned the one that wasn't working, and we now have a working jet boil. So check out my YouTube video on the faulty jet boil. And interestingly enough, one other person put a comment on there that they also had a similar issue of not very much pressure. So I kind of wonder whether there's a faulty batch of jet boils going around. So if you do get a jet boil, just make sure when it's brand new that it's got a good head of steam behind it. Anyway, I have boiled my water. I'm going to have a tea. I've not had a tea this morning yet, and it's coming up to 11:15. I can't believe it. Mind you, like I said, I've not been awake very long. So I think it's most definitely tea time, as in cup of tea time, not 4 o'clock afternoon tea. Good girl, stay there. Good afternoon, everybody. It's we're in camp as usual. We're not going anywhere. It's been I didn't get up until quite late. It was about 11 o'clock when I woke up, and I had some porridge and basically just sort of chilled out in camp. It's as you can see, the mist once again has crept in on us. Yesterday was a pretty reasonable day, all things considered, but we've not really had so much rain, which is a good thing. We've been lucky on the rain front, thankfully. We've just had this mist today, and it's quite breezy. It's not a strong wind, but it is definitely on the breezy side. I will have to measure the length of my the length of the pole that I've got in here for this DD Pyramid Tarp tent thing. Okay, yesterday or last night I lengthened the pole inside, because what I've done, I've brought my Duomid, my MLD Duomid pole set up to try and give me a little bit more flexibility on getting the DD Pyramid a little bit higher, and to a degree it's helped with this backside here, but it's still a little bit on the slack side. It probably needs to be longer still, to be honest, because as you can see, the only way you're really going to get those edges really tight, you know, is by making it somewhat another inch or so longer, I think. You can see I've got this side quite high off the ground, as it were, as it is. And obviously the front there is slightly off the ground, and that side there is slightly off the ground. So, you know, I have got them off the ground somewhat. The real problem, of course, is these, that you can't adjust the length of the loops on there. You've got fixed loops, which is a real hindrance to this shelter. Apart from the slightly shoddy workmanship in a few places as well, it's clearly made on a budget. For what it is, you know, if you are looking for something cheap just to try out before you maybe get something, you know, half decent, then, you know, it's not a bad starting off point. And as I say, it's coped without, you know, it's coped out here. I really don't like this vent at the back. I think that's I mean, this does come down quite a long way, but I really do think that's a pretty silly place to put a vent at the back. I think that really that vent cover just needs to come down even further, really. I've not really had much, if any, ingress of rain, it has to be said. So, you know, it's working to a degree, but it would certainly benefit from either being on the front here or having a longer flap at the back. But like I said, I must admit, for, you know, £100 or less, it's a pretty decent bit of kit, you know, all things considered. I will probably try and do a more, you know, a proper video on it at some point or other. Lassie, no, we'll get water a bit later, Lassie. It's only just coming up to 2. It's really rather manky weather again. Really, I must admit, I am looking forward to some nice sunny weather, even if I'm coming down here and not doing very much. I must admit, I am rather looking forward to coming down here and not doing very much in some nice warm sunshine again. It's not getting dark now until about 5:15 or something like that. So that's certainly, or even 5:30. So that's certainly an improvement on when it was getting dark at 4 o'clock a month or so ago. It's surprising how quickly it does. Look at this. You can see this wall of mist. I don't know how clear that wall of mist is on the camera, but it's like this wall of fog slowly approaching. I don't think it's as effective. It's almost like it's getting closer. It is getting closer. It's covering. It's like something out of a James Herbert film or something like that. But as is always nice here, what I particularly like here is there's just no one around at all. You hardly ever see anyone here. Sometimes someone walks past sort of over there, and rarely you get someone walking over there, but it's even rarer they're over there. Occasionally, like I said, you might get some people walking across the side of that hill, but it is rare. I think there's some people on a distant hill. Yeah, there's definitely people on a more distant hill over there. I can just see two little stick people, literally stick people. All right, well, I'm going to duck inside, I think, have something to eat and just sort of chill out and unwind a bit more, and I'll catch up a little bit more, you know, later on. Well, good evening. It's about 8:30 and we're settled in to camp. I've even put a light out for you. Look at that. All very modern, and YouTube-y. Not. I was going to try and make some more videos today, but I kind of didn't do so much today. I was just chilling out and relaxing, and not a huge amount was done today, but no, that's fine. That's the whole point of me coming down here is doing nothing, and then if a video happens, well, then that's fine. It's blowing up just a little bit. I've checked the forecast and it's not looking too brilliant later on. I'll kind of show you around camp a bit more in a minute, but I've had a quick nose, and when I go to the Met Office, it's showing for Ivy Bridge winds up to 28 miles an hour, but we're actually quite close to South Brent. And when I looked up South Brent earlier, it's not quite so bad now. Oh, that's a bit of a relief. When I looked up South Brent earlier on, it was showing 50 mile an hour winds, but now for South Brent it's showing up to 36, so not too bad really. Half of where I'm quite close, so that's showing about 30, so actually it's not showing as bad as it was earlier, which is a bit of a relief. It's showing rain in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning, heavy rain coming in until 7 o'clock, then light rain until 10 o'clock, and then hopefully we might get a little bit of sun tomorrow. Of course, typical, we get some sun as I'm heading as I'm heading back, we get a little bit of sun. That's typical. Anyway, we've made a bit of a mess as usual around here. I'm not quite sure what you can see down here. So I brought some corned beef with me and I've eaten that. I put that in with my pasta. I might actually do that again in the future because that rather brightened up that pasta. So I've still got to put my rubbish away. And of course I had my cup of soups. Cup of soups are really, really good things to have in camp because they're quick, they're simple, they're super light. And of course, if you have done a lot of walking, which I must admit I haven't, but if you have done walking and maybe you haven't had quite as much to drink as you should do, of the non-alcoholic type that is, I never quite understand why people bring so much beer camping with them. But anyway, that's a personal choice. I bring tea. I like to have a soup, and that gets plenty of liquid inside you. And then basically back here we've just got toilet paper. I could do a video on the toilet one day. I was thinking about doing that. The trouble is I get out here and then I just want to chill out and relax, and I don't always think about or do what I was thinking about doing or remember what I was going to do. But anyway, I've got more than enough video to edit from months previous anyway, so I'm not exactly short on I'm not exactly short of video. It's time to edit it that's the problem. We're in camp, as I say, heading back tomorrow. I have, as you might be able to spot, found a good use for this knife that I brought with me. It's actually doubling up as a door opening thing. You remember yesterday or the other day I was saying that manufacturers always put these twisty things too high up, and when you do the door up there, it always comes unraveling down here. With this knife, it has a thing for attaching it to a belt. So I've gone and attached it to that. So that's actually quite handy. We're charging. Oh God. Oh. Does anyone have any recommendations for a pillow? Okay, well, one hound has settled down inside at last, even on a foam mat there, which is a minor miracle. Spends most of the time outside. That's her pack there. I've just really, for the fun of it, draped my Arc'teryx jacket, which is literally falling apart here. That's one other thing that hasn't lasted, but I've had it for a lot longer than that pillow. And then down the side, down here, my reading glasses. I brought my GWG and I brought my old Pro Track. The time's wrong because I was doing a video on it showing how to move the hands, and I moved the hands and didn't reset it. I have this air pump thing here for putting air into the mattress. It doesn't weigh very much, and I must admit I give it to Lassie to carry. And then my pouch for camera stuff. Lots of leads and various leads there. I brought a second small tripod. If anyone knows of an even lighter tripod than this that's as good as this or better than this is just a cheapy thing. Probably came with a magazine or something like that, because it's kind of handy having a second torch. I'm trying to use my other GoPro at the same time as this for some videoing. Well, obviously just my socks there, my waterproof socks, a towel, trousers, gloves, and that's it really. Just the usual stuff. I've got my cameras and power packs down here, my other phone there. So I've got my main, well, it's my secondary phone really, there. And that's really, you know, about it, to be honest, for this evening. And I think I'm going to close the door because it's getting quite blustery at the moment. So I think that door needs pulling to until the morning. Thanks for watching, everybody, much appreciated. If you can watch to the end of my videos, then that helps the YouTube algorithms as well. Makes YouTube think that people are actually interested in my rubbish. So that's just one thing you can do to help this channel, if at all possible. If you haven't got bored anyway. I'll see you tomorrow.